Well, welcome back, watch people. Now, I was going to do a video offering you a tip about your Rolex Daytona bezel, that's the non-ceramic type, and then just yesterday I got an email, a question from Horatio Arias, a viewer of the channel, and it ties in beautifully with the same subject, so I thought I'd cover both at the same time. So let me read you Horatio's question and then I'll go into it a little bit further. He says, "Hi Paul, I have a question for you about blemishes that could affect a watch's value. In the past 10 months or so, I've purchased a couple of pre-owned Rolexes. About a day or two after buying them, I noticed some blemishes. The blemishes are small and I need an eye loupe to see them. Other than that, the watches appear to be in very good condition, free of scratches or dings." Now, he goes on to say his Submariner reference 16613 has some fingerprints on the dial near the edge, and his Daytona reference 116520 has some specks of paint on the bezel near the lettering. It looks like the same type of paint used to fill in the characters on the bezel. I don't know much about the watch industry, but I think these blemishes were probably created when the watches were serviced or reconditioned. I would like to know your thoughts about these types of blemishes, and do they affect the value of the watch? Now, Horatio, it's a very good question. There's one or two minor concerns I have about your watches, and it might be something that you want to address. The fact that your Rolex reference 16613 has some fingerprints, or what appears to be fingerprints on the dial, to be honest with you, is not the best of things to be able to spot. That would suggest to me that someone has been into the watch who has been a little bit less than professional when they're handling the dial. You never put your fingers on the dial at all. When the dial is out of the watch, you hold it right on the edge, the perimeter, on the edges, and you would never actually hold it with your bare hands. And when you do hold it, even when you're holding it on the edge, you would have a pair of watchmaker's gloves on. So that's not ideal. It's not the end of the world, and the fact that you can only see it with an eyeglass, it's not too bad, but it's not ideal, Horatio, I've got to say. Now, going on to the bezel of the 116520 Daytona, and this obviously also goes for any other model Daytona with the same kind of bezel, the pre-ceramic, also for an example the Explorer 2 as well. Now, just to go back to your email, you say that you can see some specks of paint on the bezel near the lettering. Now, what that is almost certainly where either the dealer or whoever has refinished the watch has used a special engraver's pen that you can use to re-blacken, re-darken any areas that have become worn over the years. Now, what I'm going to do is to try and make it simple for everyone to try and understand. I always try my best to do that. I'm going to pop a couple of pictures up on screen. So first of all, I'm going to pop up the bezel in question. So we're talking about a Rolex Daytona stainless steel bezel. Don't forget, it also goes for watches like the Explorer 2 as well. I'm going to show you a before picture. Now, I've had to kind of Photoshop this picture a little bit, but you get the drift. Okay, so what we're looking at here is a watch where the bezel has been rubbed or worn, and the black in relief has started to fade, etc. And then we're going to pop up the same bezel afterwards once it's been filled in with an engraver's pen, and it's like a waxy crayon type material or product. You can, if you look on the internet for an engraver's crayon, basically you can fill in any numbers that have become light with this pen, and then when you do, you let it dry overnight. So you rub it into the letters where it's faded, let it dry overnight, and then the following day you use some newspaper to rub away the excess that's still laying on top of the bezel. Now, by using newspaper, you won't get into the area where you actually want to refill it. I hope that makes sense, and the results are quite amazing, and can actually bring the watch looking, the bezel that is like almost like brand new. Now, the thing is, the product that engravers use, that I would suggest you use if you want to do this with your watch, is actually waterproof, and it is very resilient. It's not completely waterproof, so if you was to get the watch wet and then use a toothbrush, for an example, to clean the bezel, that would eventually wear out. But it is quite a hard wearing product. Now I would suggest, Horatio, that is what has been done to your watch, and you can still see a little bit of residue. It hasn't quite been cleaned properly afterwards. It's not a major, and it is part of the refinishing job for many watch dealers and people that service these watches, etc. Does it affect the value of the watch? Not really, because to be honest with you, the vast majority of the general public, unless you watch this channel at least, you wouldn't know what had taken place. It's not ideal, and if you want to check before purchasing a watch with a bezel like this, if this has indeed taken place, and if those letters have been worn and they've been refilled, the only real way to do it is to use some water and a very, very soft toothbrush. But it's not something that I'll particularly advise for the uninitiated. You could end up doing more harm than good, in all honesty. Now, another little tip before I finish up on this rather quick video today is that if you're going out into the high street, anywhere across the UK at least, but I'm sure this will apply pretty much worldwide. If you're going into a high street right now looking to buy high street brands that are in your general shopping malls, etc., a quick, easy way of getting 10% off of even the cheapest of watches is to simply ask if they are doing a 10% discount for signing up to their mailing list. And most of the high street chains, most of the high street jewelers and watch dealers, and I'm not talking about the blue chip brands now, we're not talking Rolex, Patek, AP, etc., but all the usual suspects that you'll find in your regular UK or even worldwide high street, they are offering 10% off of any purchase if you volunteer to sign up to their mailing list. Now, they won't always tell you this in store. In fact, very rarely will they tell you this in store. But don't forget to say, just ask, say, are you offering a discount if I sign up to your mailing list? And invariably the answer will be yes, and that discount is 10%, well worth saving. Right, I hope you enjoyed that quick video today, guys. Quite an important message about the Daytona, Explorer bezels, etc. It's a job that you can do yourself. If you have black missing out of your numbers, make sure you buy the right tool. What I'll try and do is I'll try and find one on Amazon or eBay and maybe leave a link in the description below. And just to reiterate, you rub it over the area that's missing, you leave it overnight to set, and then the following day you wipe it away with some newspaper. Might take you a couple of goes to get it right, but trust me, it works. Your watch will look completely different once it's been done, and it's a genuinely good tip. Thanks for watching, and we'll speak again soon.